Hey, hey. Hi, Aries. All right. So, Aries, I have to restart your video. I had a sneezing attack. This is wild. Okay. Well, this is awesome, though. Um, I had like a 4 minute long sneezing attack. I'm sorry. I'm still all stuffy. But this was the first card out. And hi, my Aries is here. Um, Queen of Wands. I'm going to say the exact same thing that I started to say in the other video before I had my sneezing attack, which is this is card is kind of a tip of the hat to Frida, the painter. And what we see is this woman who's like in this hospital bed, and she is still painting though. I'm sorry, I'm kind of covering her up because she doesn't have her clothes on, although her chest is opened up anyway. We see organs are outside of the body, but she's here with a paintbrush and she's painting the image of like bones and kind of like an entire um, cardiovascular system. And so the way I was describing this card was I'm thinking that Aries has either done a revamp on themselves. They have um like changed themselves, renewed themselves, restored themselves at almost like the cellular level. But they did it with intention and they become a full-blown Queen of Wands, which is awesome. This could have been a spiritual reset. This could have been, I mean, maybe a physical reset. This could have been, more external. Aries could have reinvented themselves, like in their career path, for example. Or heck, they could have just been sick for a couple days or a while and they have been internally, imagining their body healing itself. And they're doing really, really well. I mean, they're a full-blown Queen of Wands, so you don't get much more powerful than this. So Aries is doing very, very well. But we see the reason they're doing so well is because of how they visualize themselves. This is a Queen of Wands always has I always think of the strongest sense of like self-fulfillment and self-confidence. And then we just got the Fool card. We seem to have possibly a divine masculine, possibly an Aries, who would like very much to come toward Aries. Aries is a Queen of Wands, but they could be an Aries too because the Fool. But they may be somebody that I'm hearing that song by Fine Young Cannibals. She drives me crazy. That long blonde hair. She drives me crazy and I can't help myself. We've got the Knight of Wands. This person, they are a mixture of, I do feel like they're going nuts over how attractive they find Aries. I do feel like they are on the cusp of either racing forward, but their emotions seem to be more geared toward intense passion. Again, I'm sorry, I'm kind of covering up this card. We have like a statue that is all disjointed. We have a masculine like leaning up against the statue, but the statue is in kind of a suggestive posture. All of this says, look, this person has lots of lusty thoughts, okay, about Aries. That's straight up how it is. All of this is fire so far. But we also have the Temperance card. Again, we stay in the fire family, right? Everything here has had fire energy on it, but that is Sag energy. I feel like this person more than lusts after Aries, but on the other hand, we do see them trying to keep it calm, keep it together, listen to their higher self. I feel like they probably do a little bit of spying. They may wish that Aries was going to somehow like come visit them or patronize the place where they work, or they may make excuses so that they can, pass by Aries environment somehow or find themselves in Aries world a little bit. Seven of Wands, King of Swords. I'm going to keep saying Aries drives him crazy in a good way, but kind of because I'm hearing that song now. I think is it Kenny Loggins? He wasn't the original singer. I think it was a 1950s song, but if that girl's got into your blood, oh gosh, go out and get her. I can't even think of the rest of that song. I know something about love. You gotta want it bad. If that girl's got into your blood. I can't think anymore. Anyway, Probably everybody knows the song. It's just, unless I sing it, lyrics don't necessarily pop out of my mouth. They go with the tune and the melody. So it's really hard for me to talk lyrics because I'm hearing the song in my head, but refraining from singing them. um, with that Seven of Wands, there's a disjointed energy once again, and this person has a way more complicated life. Now they're coming across like they could be Libra or Gemini or Aquarius here, but they feel like there's a blockage, and it could be the fact that they have a complicated life. They may not be able to just move toward Aries. They may be prohibited from doing that. There may be a reason that they shouldn't even be allowed to be lusting after Aries. Page of Cups sideways. Okay, this starts to feel like this person would love to holler, literally like holler, I'm hearing Stella. Maybe they look a little bit like Marlon Brando. Both of these cards have a tip of the hat to like old-fashioned movie films. This always reminds me of like a Humphrey Bogart kind of character. And then this is just the whole environment here just reminds me very much of Marlon Brando and Streetcar Named Desire. So those could also be just little side notes here. There is a classic masculine energy here. Even the intensity of their passion, their drive, their desire. I think that the beauty, the attractiveness of Aries. Now, Aries could be masculine too. It doesn't matter. This could be same-sex couple. But there is something very old-fashioned movie quality about this love story, complete with the tension and the conflict and the I want you, but I, have to like hold it together. But when will I see you again? I think about you all the time, but damn it, my life is in conflict. It's almost like if this were an old-fashioned like gangster movie, and it's like I can't, I love this Aries, but I can't bring them into my, corrupt lifestyle. This is very 1950s Hollywood glam kind of movie quality conflict that we see here. And I don't mean to minimize, if they have real conflict in their life, or maybe they do have something shady going on and they don't want to bring Aries into it. But on the other hand, they really want to be with Aries. Knight of Cups. I kind of feel like this is one of those, guy or gal from the wrong side of the tracks, who's like a kingpin in their own lifestyle, but then they fall in for somebody that isn't a part of their lifestyle, but I feel like they want Aries, but Aries is like their taboo. Somehow Aries is the taboo, but they want Aries anyway. They come across as very well dressed, very dapper. There is, like I said, kind of this old fashioned, like a gentleman scoundrel, if that makes any sense. Honestly, if this were a film, we would all be cheering and rooting for this person who seems to be head over heels for Aries, because it's like they might be the anti-villain. They're not actually a villain. There's somebody who's got a heart of gold. They're trying to still do the right thing. They are very passionate. I know we don't really see love until we get to the Knight of Cups, but I think it's only because they're trying to suppress that, because they're like, I don't know if I can even make this work with Aries. I probably shouldn't be in love with Aries, but I can't help myself. I am. That's why I don't want to put them into any situation that would be difficult for them, but I can't deny, oh my God, I'm so attracted. That's how this comes across. And we have the Sun card sideways. There is the element of, I feel like this person they've got like a fantasy of like having Sunday breakfast, sleeping in late, just being in this comfortable environment. They've got a lot of daydreams of taking Aries out on like some kind of a fancy date, treating Aries really well, having a romantic interlude with them, waking up and making eggs for them in the morning. All of this would be like, in a perfect world, this would be their happy fantasy. So let me ask this. What is the problem in all this? We got an 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. The problem in all of this is there's no real effort being put into this. Hang on, let's go back over to Aries for just a second. Where is Aries? the Sun and the Judgment card. Aries might very much be in an excellent energy. I mean, obviously, anybody that's reinvented themselves and is doing really well, Aries is actually incredibly happy. And Aries is kind of down for a reunion with this person, or down for, like, yeah, breakfast in bed sounds great. We have the Three of Cups. We have the High Priestess. Okay, so Aries is in a whole different vibe. Aries is saying, I already know I'm going to end up with them. I already know that they want me and I want them. I already know we're having eggs some morning. Aries is very certain that they're going to end up in the sheets with this person, but more than that, that they're going to end up happy with this person. But Aries has a worry or a nightmare also. What is it? Aries can see the future and they know that they're going to have this happy time. The Tower and the Six of Cups. Okay, the worry here for Aries anyway is they will have to drop some act or some behavior or some lifestyle so that they can join Aries in a more permanent fashion. Let's just jump ahead and say, are they going to? Because they've already said, I've got this lifestyle or this complexity that, I mean, I can't drag Aries into it, but on the other hand, I don't think they're going to be able to fight the fact that they really want to be with Aries. But this King of Swords card says, I mean, there's drama, there's intrigue, there's, villains, there's, just all kinds of dramatized energy here. But they love Aries so much. I don't think that they're going to be able to stay away from Aries for very long. But this is why they haven't moved forward toward Aries. It could be that whatever they do for like a living could, keep them in like toxic company. It doesn't have to be anything like illegal or anything like that in this. Remember, this is a fictional story anyway. But whatever their circumstances are, Aries knows all about it anyway. Aries is not, like some innocent who has no clue if this person does have a complicated or difficult, set of circumstances. Aries knows all that. And they also know this person is going to have to, they're going to have to straighten up and fly right, or they're going to have to dump the toxic people or the toxic job so that we can build something together. But I already know we got a future together. What stresses Aries out is how are they going to go about making these changes? Because it's going to be a big life overhaul. I mean, it could even be that like, hey, babe, we need to move. We need to just get out of reach of your toxic family. We just need to make a clean break. Remember, though, they were in that Fool card. As we say, ready to make a clean break. Ten of Swords, they're ready. They're ready to surrender whatever that toxic and complicated life was anyway. They start out with the Fool. You like that? And now we have the Ten of Swords. Okay, we're going to end this storyline here, Aries, partly because my Aries is here and he is demanding the mommy. So I'm going to disappear on you guys. I knew if I kept saying the word Aries, he was going to wake up and come in to come get me. So sorry that I invoked the Aries of my life, but thank you guys for being here. Lots of love. I appreciate you so much. And I'll see you guys again real soon. Bye for now. We're going.